Sorry, I'm doing some stuff behind the scenes to get us set up. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of audio here. We're gonna been seeing a lot of Puffer King lately, but we're gonna get a bit more of Puffer King's audio. GFM is trying to resize his game, which is unsurprising. For some reason, I don't know why it is, the TurboGrafx has this very bad habit of resizing randomly while playing whenever you witness cutscenes. You can see it right here on someone's screen where you're going to see his window is going to pop up and down repeatedly as it tries to find the correct size. All right, we're just waiting on our players to finish configuring their games. It's fascinating that it changes the resolution. So yeah, this game was released on a couple of different consoles. The original version of Ys, I want to say, is like a PC98 game. It was originally released on the, I think it was the PC98, and it was in two parts. It was Ys 1 and Ys 2. We are going to be playing a compilation of Ys 1 and Ys 2 that was released. This version was released on the TurboGrafx 16 CD. So it has full voice audio in a couple of places, and some lovely CD quality music. This version was also released on the Wii Virtual Console. PC88 originally. Thank you, Simple Sarah. So this is a compilation version that combines Ys 1 and 2. My understanding is that Falcom originally intended for this to be one game, and as we'll see as the weeks go on, that it does pretty seamlessly transition from Ys 1 to Ys 2. And that's not a new thing as well. The Falcom has been notorious for a lot of games, including they just very, very recently released Trails of Cold Steel 4, which is sort of a finale to their Trails of Cold Steel games, which were also intended to be one lengthy sequence of games that they couldn't quite fit them all together. But this game will be a little more simplistic than that. This is a very fast-paced title. So we anticipate, or I anticipate, all of the players will complete this goal. I think everybody will sub 2 hours this, because this is not a particularly difficult game. It is pretty simplistic, but we'll get into that when the game starts. Who are we still waiting on? We're waiting on Mr. Pensbon And we are waiting on Nighty. No surprise for Nighty. That's a very good question, Maurice, and you'll just have to find that out as we play. But it's mostly because Falcom is really bad about naming things the same things to be as confusing as possible. And we'll start this off with a quick lesson on how to pronounce the title of this game. This game is pronounced Ys. So this is Ys Books 1 and 2. And if you're having a little bit of trouble with it, just think you're saying geese or like the country of Greece. But it's just, it has no G in it. So you just say it's Ys. Ys, Ys, Ys. And there are currently a grand total of 9 games in this series. This is a pretty long-running series. A very long-running series. Ys 9 was just released a short time ago and is coming out very soon on the Nintendo Switch and probably the PlayStation 5 in English. So that is a game that you folks can play. I've played the whole series up through 7. I'm just working up the gumption to get to Ys 8. And then I can pick up Ys 9 on the Switch and be finally caught up. And this definitely has some good music, although we'll probably see as we go along, it has a really weird habit of a lot of rooms you'll go into just kind of don't like to play the music. But we'll get to that. Alright, one of our players is sizing their window. Nighty is just doing nighty things, I guess. And this will definitely be a much easier game than Star Tropics, which we played 2 weeks ago. Star Tropics is quite a difficult game. Normally our races aren't that difficult. This will be a very easy race. I anticipate all of the players will finish within a very reasonable amount of time, with the possibility that somebody becomes lost. Yeah, the getting lost could be a thing. Yeah, Falcom is a very prolific company. They have come out with quite a few games over a very long period of time. I am personally partial to Dragon Slayer 4, released in the United States as Legacy of the Wizard. Did somebody send me a message? I think we're ready. There we go. In the beginning. Alright, so we've got our anime cutscene is taken care of. And our game starts properly. Oh, a little cut off. Just get this all fixed up. Alright, and we are at it. So our players start off in the town of Minya here. Adol, very uncharacteristically, has managed to arrive somewhere on a ship without wrecking it. And we are immediately encountered by this mysterious woman who tells us that she wants us to go on a journey for her, which we insist upon doing because we are adventurers. And she says, oh, but before I can give you any journey stuff, why don't you go out and get some equipment, like some swords and shields and stuff. So our players have a meager 1,000 gold to their name, and they're going to find that that isn't even enough to buy a full set of equipment. At best, they can afford a sword and a shield, sword and armor, but they won't be able to afford a shield because for some reason shields are expensive. And we see GFM is already out in the field with his sword, or actually GFM hasn't even bothered to pick up a sword. GFM is just punching things to death with his bare hands. And we have the bump combat system. Yeah, I'm not sure if Puffer King remembered to even equip his weapons. It is in the manual, or in the paste bin, that you do have to equip things. Sarah asks, what is the goal for today? The goal is almost to enter the tower. I probably should have made that the goal, but no. The goal for today is to just collect the first 3 books of Ys, which is basically the prerequisite for entering the tower. We'll be seeing them enter the tower in tomorrow's goal. It felt like it would be more fun if we ended today on an exciting boss fight. So we see Puffer King here is taking a moment to talk to the people in this tavern, and this is a good strategy. There's a couple of guys who give some important information. Puffer's getting a very useful piece of information here that a man is missing a sapphire ring. The optimal way to start this game is to not actually buy any of your equipment, but to immediately buy the sapphire ring from the shop for 1,000 gold. Because the man will take it from you and give you 1,500 gold and some experience points right off the bat, which gives you a big advantage starting here. Now, one really important thing for our players is they do want to be saving their game pretty often. We see here that GFM is already accumulating some money and experience here, but had a close call there, did lose quite a bit of life. And if they die, there we go. We see GFM taking a death here. Where did GFM save? GFM did not save the game and goes right back to the entrance of town with nothing. You have to save your game if you want to keep any progress whatsoever when you die. Yeah, this is basically half-minute hero combat. Although it's good that this happened to GFM so early, it would be more tragic if he had survived longer and had not saved. We see someone taking a death, but someone was wise enough to save their game as soon as they gained a level. So this is good. So we'll not lose very much progress. Now we do have an option in the menu for speed, and the players can turn the speed to fast or to slow. If they turn the speed, it defaults to slow. If they turn it to fast, everything moves faster. They move faster, the monsters move faster. The good news is it makes grinding a little bit faster because you move maybe 25%, 50% quicker. However, it can make it a little bit hectic if there's a lot of enemies moving around, so we may see some players turning the game from fast to slow, particularly for boss fights. Someone here has discovered a cave, and they have decided to wander into this cave. There's some good treasure here. There's also some monsters, which they'll notice are so powerful that they can't deal any damage to them, and that they kill them instantly, which is a good sign that maybe you shouldn't be in that cave. We see Withheld is forging on ahead, has gone through the town, and has gone up to the outskirts of this shrine. This is a shrine, this is not a tower, we don't want to get those confused. And finds that there's some monsters here who are worth a lot more experience and gold, and also Withheld has not saved the game at all, so is going to go right back to the beginning. That's another big loss of time. So hopefully the players are wisely taking the time to save their game after they've managed to kill a couple of monsters. GFM takes another death here. GFM again did not... okay, GFM did save the game. Alright, so it looks like he purchased a sword and did save the game before setting out, so we'll not lose that much progress. You can save your game anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. Which is also means that you need to be a little bit cautious, because you can save your game with very little health somewhere very dangerous, and you might have some difficulty getting back out. Yeah, right now GFM and Withheld are both at 0 experience points. They really do need to be killing these monsters and gaining at least a level. Preferably 2. Does GFM even realize that you can restore your health by stopping moving? GFM might be mistakenly... Alright, GFM knows you can heal in town. Alright, there we go. We see GFM taking a save. It looks like Puffer King has saved up enough gold to buy a shield, and with a full set of sword, shield, and armor, finally the fortune teller will give him the time of day and will give him a very critical item. So with that, we'll say that Puffer is in the lead. Here we go. Has Sarah's crystal, a key item. And this game is also very generous. There's a couple of quests that you will perform where you'll get a big chunk of experience that is not affected by your current level. So as the players are killing these monsters, they receive experience points for doing so. They receive some gold for doing so. However, the amount of experience points and gold that they receive, or the amount of experience points they receive, does reduce with their level. So eventually these early monsters will only be worth 1 experience point, not really worth their time. And so they will want to go look for some tougher monsters to kill so that they will be more efficiently grinding. I'm not aware of any level cap in this, and it's my understanding, based off of my just playthrough in preparation for this, that the experience points that they take with them at the end of East 2 to East, at the end of East 1 to East 2, are just going to be static. That they're not going to, that they'll pick up exactly where they left off. GFM has found a mine. Everything in this mine is incredibly deadly right now. You are absolutely not intended to go here. If GFM is clever and careful and doesn't die like he just did, there are some useful treasures in here that he could pick up. If he could find a couple of the items in here and get out alive, he could come out well ahead with a piece of powerful armor. The players definitely won't need to hit the level cap for the boss, at least for East 1. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Rhythm Song does make a good point. They can't open any boxes until they got the treasure box key. So yeah, they won't be getting anything of use in that mine right now. So we see someone 325 getting Sarah's crystal as well. Oh, GFM found a really cool treasure box in there. Looks like GFM is gonna try to make a beeline for that box, and is gonna be tragically disappointed if he gets to it. So we see here, Puffer King has entered the first dungeon, the Shrine. And has immediately found a treasure box that cannot be opened. But here's one he can open that contains a ruby. This ruby is only good for selling, but that will be a nice pot of money for Puffer King to make a choice of what he wants to upgrade, as he has his weapons, his shields, and his armor, and he can upgrade those at his pleasure. Puffer King went into the tower and has decided to leave. It's interesting, he didn't even find the boss door. We see someone is accepting a quest, a very, very JRPG thing to do. You encounter a person who has a problem, and you immediately, without question, offer to help them. Don't even inquire about what is the reward, or even whether it's a good idea or not. So somebody says, "Hey, my dog is missing," and you're like, I'll do anything. I will kill any monster to find that dog. Yep, the JRPG thing is to immediately not accept a reward, and that, of course, will get you twice as much of a reward. Alright, looks like we see someone is making a beeline straight for the boss door. But it is locked. Well, that's right, they do need to... That's the issue. They need to head to the village... not Minia Town, but the second village, and talk to the old lady there while holding the crystal, and she will give them the key that lets them enter the locked door in the shrine. Alright, looks like GFM and Withheld are getting used to this bump combat system. With some equipment and a couple of levels under their belts, they will be able to withstand these enemies a little bit more effectively. And here we see Puffer King picking up the shrine key. Hopefully he figures out immediately that he's going to need that in that shrine. Unfortunately, it isn't going to unlock any boxes. So it's still going to be a little bit longer before Puffer King is going to enjoy the sweet reward of opening boxes and just taking whatever's inside of them and then leaving the box discarded like so much trash. Puffer going for one more level here. There we go. At 252 experience points, that's going to be up to, I think, level 4, which will make this first boss very trivial. Puffer's just waiting here for the boss to teleport to a spot where he can get it. Yep, this is the first boss. You just have to actually touch him. The only boss in the history of video games where you deal contact damage to the boss and not the other way around. And Puffer King is questioning this. Mercifully, the game does create a checkpoint just outside of a door whenever you fight a boss. So dying to a boss will never be a setback to the players. Just literally have to touch him. See someone wandering around the mountains here. I'm not sure if someone has found the key yet. Does need to talk to the old woman in the town in order to get the key to the shrine. Oop, nice. One more hit. There we go, and Puffer gets the kill on the first boss. And it's going to reveal the doorway, and it's going to get a nice infusion of experience points there. And so now we've got, when the game starts to get serious, we've got this big shrine to explore. It's full of monsters. Contrary to the exploration before, Puffer cannot restore his hit points by simply sitting still. So he does need to be a little bit cautious here about not biting off more than he can chew. And also needs to be careful about saving his game because he doesn't want to save somewhere where he might not be able to get back out. So he sees a really suspicious treasure box here that's guarded by a couple of enemies. That is the treasure box he absolutely wants to open because it's the only treasure box in the game that he can open right now. Well, no, that's not true. He opened the one with the ruby. But it is the one that's going to lead him to the treasure box key. And it looks like someone 325 is going to take their crack at the first boss. The Fireproof Wizard, which is his official name. It's like Withheld has made her way to the shrine and is now poking around, looking for some treasure boxes. And GFM is maybe a little bit lost here. I don't know that GFM has even found the first town yet. Here it is. GFM has found the town of Zeptic Village. There's some important stuff to collect here. It is locked. There we go. Someone has defeated the first boss and Withheld just starting the boss fight here. Now another thing that's going to come up for the players very quickly. There is a bunch of equipment available to purchase in the shop in town for different amounts of money. They've got a couple of different upgrades. I think all the players have purchased the basic sword, shield, and armor. And then there are 2 more tiers of each item to collect. So the players will need to use a little bit of judgment whether they want to prioritize the weapons or the armor. And good work on Withheld for defeating the first boss. Genocrace? I'm not certain. They'll have to make a decision. Do they want to prioritize weapons or armor? They'll have to also decide, do they immediately buy the weapons and armor as they are affordable, or do they try to skip a tier and go say from the first tier directly to the third tier? And then they'll also find some weapons and armor as they explore. In today's goal, they will be able to collect the second strongest set of equipment in the game if they are thorough. They will be able to collect a silver sword, a silver armor, and a silver shield. The silver shield is actually hidden inside the shrine, and that they could pick it up now without gaining any more levels or items other than getting the treasure box key, which Puffer King now has encountered this box. It's guarded by a couple of these little blue Sonic the Hedgehogs, which are pretty rough. Puffer King takes a death there. Someone has managed to defeat the monsters and has acquired the key. Oop, what did Puffer King do there? Puffer King died? Puffer King died so hard that the game reset. Puffer's a little bit confused by that. Did Puffer manage to crash the game? It would be impressive if he did. I mean, that's pretty impressive, since you really don't need to hit button 1 or 2 at the same time. I mean, you don't need to hit those buttons at all while playing this game, essentially. At any rate, there we go. Puffer is trying to fix his game. He isn't sure what he's done. We see GFM is our 4th racer in the restream fighting the boss. It's run plus select at the same time. Thank you. At any rate, need to be cautious about hitting too many buttons at once. The good news is he's not going to lose much progress because he just died anyways, so even if he was going to have to reload his save file anyways. And there we go. GFM just narrowly defeating the first boss. Getting that big old chunk of experience. Needs to make sure he saves his game after doing that. There we go. We see the save. There is the wise decision. Alright, there we go. Everything is back as it should be. So that's unfortunate for Puffer. That lost him some time against someone 325. So now someone 325 has picked up the prison key, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to be unlocking any boxes. However, here he finds what looks like a prison cell. That's a perfect place to use a prison key, except for all it did was revealed a hedgehog. But there's one more prison cell here. It's going to whip this open. And hey, here's a young woman who we're going to rescue. And because this game is super CD, she's going to talk to you with her actual voice. Can you imagine the level of technology available to let you actually hear a voice from your video game console? So she insists that she is going to distract the monsters for your benefit while you get away, and that she'll just make her way back to the village, because apparently she's not actually really scared of anything here. Puffer King needs to be cautious. His health is very low. He really needs to dip out of this dungeon and restore his health. But we'll see how that goes. Yep, there's the death. So with the treasure box key in hand, someone 325 now is able to open these treasure chests that he has found all over the place and start getting some of this sweet loot. And the first item he picks up is called a Mask of Eyes, which he just puts into his backpack because he's an adventurer, and that's what adventurers do. They just find all sorts of treasure and they just shove it in their bag. GFM descending into the deeper parts of the dungeon takes a death against one of these face creatures. Now, it isn't a bad idea for the players to focus on just killing monsters and gaining levels, especially early on here. Every level they gain is just going to keep tilting the combat more in their favor. And then when they're spending their time exploring the dungeon, if they've already got the experience levels, the monsters will be hardly a threat to them. GFM really does not like these hedgehog creatures. So someone, 325, has put on the Mask of Eyes, and everything has gone black and white, and perhaps is a little confused.
Are you here to rescue me? How wonderful it would be to escape these chains. I have been locked up here for too long. My name is Fina.
There we go. Puffer gets a nice infusion of experience points here. And it's going to get the key to the treasure boxes, which I'm sure he is going to be excited to see. GFM is diving really darn deep into this shrine right now. Ooh, unfortunately, GFM did not save his game. Might not have been a bad strategy, in fact, to not save his game, given that it is pretty dangerous down here. But the game does give you five save files, and I've seen some of the players already wisely cycling between their different save files. That way, if they happen to make a mistake and produce a dud save file, they save their game in a deep and dangerous place with very low health. They're not likely to be stuck. I think Puffer's looking for the way out of this shrine. We're going to get very intimately familiar with these. No, Puffer is going down inside. Puffer is going to grab some more treasure here. He's not going to take the moment to leave and to refill his health. Now, something that they might pick up on is that you can refill your health in the first floor of the shrine where you fought the boss. That is considered a safe area, and your health will refill. But typically, you have to go outside to restore your health. Most of these caves are going to be no refill zones. With the exception if they pick up, there is an item that they can find in this goal, a healing ring, that will lift that restriction and will allow them to recharge their health anywhere. Here we go. Puffer notices that health is refilling and has found a ring here. The armor ring, while equipped, is going to lower the damage that they take. Not seeing many saves here from Puffer, and GFM seems to be very cautious with saves. It looks like he's only willing to save at the entrance of the rooms. He's afraid of maybe saving in an ambush situation. GFM encounters a statue with glowing eyes, but he isn't able to figure out what he's supposed to do. Unfortunately, he is going to need to get that Mask of Eyes that someone has picked up and that Puffer just picked up before he's going to be able to reveal that secret passage. Here we go. Puffer King has found where the young girl he rescued has gone. She is staying at the house of this old woman in the village. Withheld taking a death there, but did wisely save just before fighting those monsters. So we'll be able to give this as many tries as it takes to kill them all. Nicely done. Withheld has defeated the hedgehogs and found the prison key, which is the next progression here. Someone has gone very deep into the dungeon here. Here's a box, but nope. There's a monster here, this giant centipede monster. Unfortunately, someone has very little choice here, but... oh, wait, nope. Made it out. Oh, I guess you can just run away from that monster. Not that it would have been a big deal. If someone had taken a death there, it would have simply saved the game. The centipede is actually not very difficult. As long as someone's level is high enough, he might be able to defeat it. So at this point, someone and Puffer King and Withheld, they've all accumulated a pretty nice pot of gold, enough that they could afford an equipment upgrade. Yeah, the centipede boss only damages you if you touch the head, and you need to touch the tail. So as long as you avoid the head, yeah, you could defeat this boss, provided you can deal enough damage to it. Yeah, Puffer is still pretty low level here, really needs to focus his attention on the shrine. I think he has made that decision. He's going to walk on his way back, maybe to town. He can sell that ruby and that necklace that he found for a nice pot of gold, and that will get him more than enough to buy an upgraded piece of equipment. He's also taken a moment to examine these giant trees. That is absolutely the right move, but unfortunately he can't do that yet. He does need to pick up another piece of equipment before those trees will be of value to him. GFM is avoiding monsters here. This is really the wrong way to be playing this. He really needs to identify a monster that he can kill efficiently, and then just grind some monsters. I think he's going for this treasure box, maybe. Maybe that's what he's looking for. Looks like someone has picked up on using the Mask of Eyes to see the hidden passage. And someone has picked up a heal potion. We'll see a couple of these in the goal. They can use the heal potion at any time, except for a boss fight, to refill full health. Someone is in really bad shape right now, but wait. There it is. Use the heal potion. Alright. Full health. So the good news is someone is now in position to reasonably fight this boss. Assuming that he can deal enough damage to the boss to make it worthwhile. That will be a big chunk of progression. Puffer King doesn't have enough money to buy a new sword. Although if he went to the pawn shop, he could sell some of his treasure. Oof. I don't know that... I think someone might have too low of damage to actually hurt this boss. Yeah, I think someone is realizing that his level is simply too low to deal any damage to this boss. We'll either need to buy better equipment or gain a few levels, or some combination of both. Yeah, that boss is just devouring him in a single bite. Puffer King puts on the Mask of Eyes and everybody disappears, and the world is a much better place now. He can finally, at long last, just be alone. GFM continues to explore deeper into the shrine. GFM is dying a lot to these monsters. GFM really needs to go to a shallower part of the shrine, or at least a part of the shrine where there are monsters that he can defeat quickly, and needs to focus on that. Especially because he has missed the treasure box for the prison key, which is in a earlier part of the shrine. I think GFM is probably getting a little bit tired of every treasure box being locked. There we go. Withheld has found Fina imprisoned in her cell, and will be soon picking up the treasure box key, which is where the true Ys begins. Because what is an Ys game if you can't open every treasure box you find and find a pile of 20 monster spines in it to add to your inventory? I think GFM might be of the mistaken impression that he's already thoroughly explored the previous floor, which that could be a very bad mistake for him. Withheld finding a necklace, but unfortunately you can't equip that. It's just one of those necklaces that you just carry around with you. GFM is determined to fight his way deeper into the dungeon with his current loadout, and this is really a mistake. I'm a little surprised, because GFM generally strikes me as one of our more skilled players, and I think he, of all people, might pick up on the fact that he's way underpowered right now for these monsters. Puffer King is determined to wear this mask everywhere in case it reveals to him a super secret developer NPC who's going to give him max power right off the bat. But he's probably going to be a little bit disappointed that all this mask is really going to do is just make it impossible for him to see what he's fighting. I mean, at this point, GFM must realize that a key item he's looking for is a key to open up all of these treasure boxes. So I imagine he's focused right now on where is this key. Oh, there's a treasure box GFM hasn't tried yet. So someone and Withheld are both sitting pretty on a big 3,000 gold pieces. That should be enough to buy an upgraded sword or armor. So we'll see if one of them decides to make the excursion back to town and go shopping. A bonus is if they can sell that ruby and that necklace to the pawn shop, that'll give them a big chunkaroonie of cash to add on top of the 3,000 that they've already got. Puffer King picks up the ivory key, one of many lovely keys that we're going to find in this game, because the true test of the quality of a game is how many different keys are in it, which is why Brainlord for the Super Nintendo is the best action RPG of all, because every dungeon floor has like 5 keys to collect. To be specific, I think it's like you get 1,200 for the ruby, and the necklace is another 500. And the best part is every key is unique, has a name, and you do have to select the correct key for the correct door to put it in. That's why Brainlord is a masterpiece. And then when you finally fought your way gruelingly to the end and you fight the final boss summons instant pits, which don't kill you, but make you drop to the previous floor. So you have to start the boss fight over, minus everything you used, which is why Brainlord is the best action RPG of all. So it looks like someone has gone back to town. I wasn't paying close attention, but the fact they're 2,000 gold in the hole suggests that they bought the next upgrade to their sword, which is a very reasonable decision to make. I am generally of the strategy that if you are given the choice between offense and defense, always prioritize offense. There we go. So Puffer King found the silver bells, and while we're not going to engage in a rousing round of Christmas songs because it is absolutely the wrong time of year, Puffer hopefully remembers that there was a person looking for a silver bell who might reward him if it gets returned. Meanwhile, GFM has successfully found the prison key. It looks like he took a death getting it, but at least this is giving him a hook of progression that if he can get that key and get out alive, he will now be able to go somewhere new and do something different. These hedgehogs are really nasty. Now, somebody had brought up in the chat before, and it is good to note, it's kind of unorthodox, but the best way to fight enemies is not to whack them head on. But if you can hit them from the sides or the back, that's obviously preferable. But the real advantage is if you fight them slightly off-center, which, since everything in this game is about 1 tile wide, and you can move half-tile steps, you want to be a half-tile step off of the center of the enemy. Just like we see GFM doing there for a moment. That is the best way, because the monsters really won't be able to fight back against you if you do. GFM trying to figure out how to run through these enemies effectively. But GFM's got to be convinced that's the way to go. Alright, so maybe he's going to head outside, he's going to top off his health, and he's going to give this another shot. GFM is really losing a lot of time here from not fighting monsters. Even if he was fighting relatively weak enemies, being able to gain some experience points would be in his favor. Does leveling top you off in this game? It does not. Defeating bosses will top you off, however. Yeah, that's probably right, Andy. The a lot of the East games like to go with refill your health upon level up, which is a really great design in my mind because it introduces some strategy to leveling up. Okay, GFM's got the prison key. There's just one more hedgehog between him and his great escape. He's running for it. He's absolutely running for it. Absolutely the right move. Is going to save his game here. All right, with that, he wants to get outside and refill his health again. Unfortunately, he's gaining good experience for this, but he keeps dying and losing all of this experience he's gained. We see someone picking up the silver bell. If they return that to the village elder, they will receive an attack ring and a big pot of experience points. Withheld right now, just on the cusp of 4,000 gold pieces. Would not be a bad decision to head back to town and spend that money. If they sell the ruby, that'll be enough to buy the most powerful sword. Well, the most powerful sword sold in a shop. Oh, Withheld walked up to that treasure box and immediately unleashed the might of this ferocious centipede. Interesting. Withheld loading a save file. I think the realization there was that she would prefer to load a save file to a shallower part of the dungeon. Looks like someone is going to give this another shot. Gets immediately devoured by the centipede. But with an upgraded sword, someone might actually be able to fight this. So at this point, GFM has a prison key, but is unsure what to do with it. Unfortunately, the prison cells are at the top of the shrine, so he is going the wrong way. So someone is at least strong enough to deal damage to the centipede, but not quite enough to make it reasonable. If he did take the time to return, the silver bells would receive an attack ring, which would boost his attack power enough that he might be able to deal reasonable damage to the centipede. So pretty much the things that the players are looking for in this dungeon, they need to collect 2 keys that will give them access to the centipede's room. And defeating the centipede is the most important thing. We see Puffer King finding the second most important thing. This silver shield is the second most powerful shield in the game. So Puffer's going to want to put that on right away. And that's going to be a very big advantage to Puffer for defense. But it's not going to make him invincible. He needs to still be cautious. Just like we see there, you're still taking a lot of damage. Now, I did put in the pace spin that hitting enemies off-center was effective, but I don't know that any of the players, they may not have understood what that meant. Which is unfortunate, because all of this head-on combat is going to wear them down quite a bit. So as far as progression goes right now, I dare say someone, 325, is in the lead right now, has found the first boss, is doing pretty good on experience points right now. And it looks like Puffer took the time to go to town and buy the better armor, which is an interesting decision there it's helping him out quite a bit. We can see Puffer has taken a lot less damage. Oh, it looks like Puffer might try drinking that potion. There we go. Nope. He said no. He noped out of the potion. It was a noption. Here we go. Withheld has turned in the silver bell and has received an attack ring as a reward. That attack ring is going to give Withheld a nice boost in damage when fighting, which would make it a lot easier to defeat that centipede. I think at this point it's a race to see which player is the first one to find the centipede. I feel like the E series, less so than other games, it's not really important to play them in order. I mean, I would think that a player would be pretty comfortable if they started with one of the late games, like maybe E6 or 7 or 8, because the story really doesn't matter that much. So Puffer now needs to really pick a place where he can grind some monsters. Also, it looks like GFM is going to make a move here. Earlier, GFM found a treasure box here in the mines and wasn't able to open it, so he's ready for revenge. Oh, he let this purple monster get him. He's going to be really happy. I'm pretty sure that is the silver armor in that treasure box. So if he opens that, that's going to be a colossal boost to him when fighting monsters in the shrine. In fact, I want to say this is what the speedrun does, that the speedrun gets the treasure box key and then gets this treasure... Oh no, GFM hasn't gotten the treasure box key yet. Oh, GFM needs to go back to the shrine and find the jail cells. So this is really unfortunate. GFM is really falling behind on this because he is not able to figure out the progression. And he's fighting monsters that are just way too difficult for the experience that they're worth. Yeah, the shield is in the deep shrine, and the sword, the armor is here in the mine, and the item that you need for the sword is in the mine. And of course, once you have it, getting the sword itself is trivial once you know where to go. I mean, the progression isn't too vague right now. You were told very explicitly by Sarah the Fortune Teller that there is a Book of Ease in this dungeon, and you need to get it. And if your problem is there's a monster that beats the crap out of you because you can't kill it, then you need to get strong enough to kill it. So someone is getting pretty strong here. If someone has found the shield, it's pretty much everything in this dungeon, and that someone should be ready to fight the boss. Well, the good news is GFM has found the first step, and there's only one step remaining. And it is a prison key, so it should be pretty clear he's looking for a prison cell. Puffer King has found the boss room. I wasn't paying attention. Was the door locked? He might still be missing one of the keys. Yeah, at this point GFM is really lagging in experience. He just needs to kill a bunch of monsters. I'm curious if the players are even really giving each other much help here, on account of the fact that they are on a call together and participating, but they might be a little cagey about spoiling the game for each other, and GFM might not yet feel like he's really lost. Does Puffer... I wonder if Puffer thinks that the Mask of Eyes gives him some advantage. Here we go. Someone is going to town and is buying that 5,000 gold piece katana. Alright, it's Withheld gonna take another stab at the boss. It's going to slow down the speed deliberately. This is a good strategy. There we go. Dealing damage. But it's not a whole lot of damage. So the good news, it is feasibly possible. However, likely, it's not too likely. Withheld's really going to want to get some better equipment. Particularly that attack ring, the upgraded sword. Either of those would increase the damage you do by quite a lot, because this is pretty bad damage at the moment. Whenever the screen flashes bright white, that says that Withheld is making progress. Rings don't do anything on bosses. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Puffer King slowly fighting his way through some of these monsters in the lowest part of the shrine. Not a bad idea to save very often here, especially when you've managed to get out of a very dangerous place. So someone now has a really nice sword going into this, what I think is going to be another attempt at the boss. So this could be the one that gets someone into the next segment of the game. GFM is back in the shrine here. GFM, you're 2 experience points away from a level. Just kill anything and get it. Yeah, the locked door that GFM is looking for, it's right on the second floor of the shrine. That he just needs to head right and hopefully spot it. If he could do that, that would be all the progression. No, he's going down. He's diving. He is absolutely diving. That's unfortunate. That's just taking him away from where he wants to be. Alright, looks like Withheld is going to call it quits on the boss for the moment, which I think is the right strategy. Want to take some more time first to explore. Another level would help, especially getting some gold. Alright, someone is heading back in for another stab at the centipede boss. Let's see how the damage stacks up this time. Oh, there we go. That's way more damage now. Easy as pie. The boss goes down. It's going to get a full health refill. It's going to get a big chunk of experience. And it's going to collect the first of the 3 Ease books. Alright, looks like GFM is wisely gaining some levels and doing some saves here. And GFM immediately dies to the next creature he meets. Although someone's not done exploring the shrine, there is one more treasure box that contains a silver shield that I don't think someone has opened yet. Yeah, early on the warp wings are a deterrent, especially if you're not a speedrunner and you don't realize that you can get some free gear coming up. That's also a big deterrent. Because for the 2,000 that you could spend on that warp wing, you could buy yourself an upgraded suit of armor instead. Is the silver sword required in this version? Yes, it is. The players will have 2 opportunities to pick it up. The first opportunity will be when they're exploring the mines. However, if they fail to pick it up in the first goal, I believe they will have another opportunity to pick it up in the shrine. Or, not the shrine, in the Dharm Tower. Because the villain will steal all their equipment anyways, and then they just have to collect it in Dharm Tower regardless. And they will need the full set of silver equipment to defeat Dark Fact and finish Ease 1. So Puffer is going to start exploring the mines. This isn't a terrible idea right now. This isn't where he needs to be for progression. But if he picks up that silver armor, that will give him a colossal boost in his defense power for the rest of this goal. Yeah, so to collect the silver sword, the players will need to explore the mine. They will need to find the Rhoda nut that is in one of the chests. Then they'll need to talk to the trees. For the trees see all, and one of the trees will have the sword buried at its roots, and the other tree will just tell you, "Hey, go talk to the other tree. It's got a sword." There's the timer ring for pufferfish. So this is a kind of a confusing item. When you equip it, it makes enemies move more slowly, which makes it easier to evade them and to fight them. Yeah, if the players can find the silver sword, they're definitely going to want it. The last boss of this goal is pretty nasty, and they'll really want as much damage as possible. Alright, Withheld making another shot at the centipede boss. Looks like she is doing a lot more damage this time. Not a whole lot more damage, but enough to make this reasonable. Withheld has more than half of the boss's health down to a quarter health left. Withheld's taking a few hits here. This guy's moving fast. Oop, there's just a little bit left. Oh, takes a hit from the... there. Oh, takes a bite from the centipede, but it's a little bit more damage. There we go. Withheld has defeated the centipede. Puffer King, in the meantime, has found the silver armor. So Puffer King already has 2 of the endgame pieces of equipment, is wisely going to save his game to keep that kept. GFM taking another game over here. GFM is really lagging terribly behind the other players in experience at this point. Although part of it is still hurting GFM. He needs to find the prison cells on the first floor. That is where he is lagging terribly right now, is that he hasn't found the prison cells. It's like someone is starting to descend in the mines, has already descended to floor 2 of the mines. I think maybe he is going to head back up and he's going to explore floor 1 a little more thoroughly here. The mines contain a lot of really good items, but unfortunately they're very difficult to explore. The fact that you can't see where you're going just makes it really easy to accidentally miss a fork that would reveal some items. I'm not sure if any of the players have picked up on hitting enemies other than head on. Alright, GFM's heading back up. This is good. No, wait. GFM heading down. Where are you going, GFM? Oh, okay. Maybe he's just double checking to make sure he hasn't missed anything here. Everything's still locked. He's got this prison key that he doesn't know what to do with it. He's going to feel really good when he finally manages to find that chest, though. Or when he finds that cell, I mean. Here we are back on the first floor. GFM searching every single passage here, which is exactly what he needs to be doing. Seeing a lot of game overs here on the screen. We've 3 of the players game overing at the same time. It's a thing that happens in East Book 1 and 2. You get game overs. That's a thing that happens. Now, one thing the players might miss, and that it's kind of tricky, to find the second Book of Ys. Someone has the first book, and I think Withheld also has it. They do need to go back and talk to the fortune teller Sarah, because she actually has the second Book of Ys, and she's just hanging on to it because she's a jerk apparently, and she won't give it to you until you have collected the first book. Oh, it looks like someone is going to spend some money on a wing. Oh, here it is! GFM has found the prison cell, has found Fina, and is going to find that she is going to give him that key, and he's finally going to be able to open treasure boxes. That's feeling like some tangible progress there for GFM. Withheld finding that the old lady in the town will read the books of Ys to her, so you can learn the story of the land of Ys. Here we go. GFM is going to finally use his key. And oh, there is the sweet feeling of opening a box and getting an item. A feeling which has eluded poor GFM. So we see someone is taking the time to talk to these trees. There's a couple of NPCs who mention talking to trees, hearing voices from the trees. So this is clever enough that he realizes that there's something hidden here. Unfortunately, he's not going to get anything out of this if he hasn't found the rhoda nut. The rhoda nut is required for the trees to speak with you, because otherwise the trees are pretty much jerks. Alright, so at this point now we're going to see some steady forward progress from GFM. He still is going to need to spend some more time gaining levels, but for now, at the very least, he is going to be opening some boxes. So Withheld heading back to Sarah's fortune telling and learning that Lair the Poet has one of the books of Ys. Or rather, that the Lair the Poet has an important item, and that she needs to go talk with him, or her. Withheld just bought a nice katana. Just gonna buy some reflex armor here. There we go. So Withheld is kitted up with some nice gear right now. So it looks like Withheld is all ready to start exploring the mine in earnest. GFM learning about the talking rototree. Puffer King taking the time to explore. Don't think Puffer King has found the boss yet. I think GFM is going to go back into the mine and finally open this box that he's wanted so desperately since the beginning, and is actually going to be very pleased with what he finds inside. Oh, never mind. GFM just getting beat up by a slime then. Puffer King is wearing these glasses. He must be convinced there's got to be a secret that he's managed to miss at some point. There it is. There is the missing key. I think that might be what was preventing Puffer from advancing. Two of our players have decided that they're just going to wear the Mask of Eyes forever because they think it's really cool looking. A very unorthodox strategy here. I think Puffer King is going to come to the realization that he can't use the healing potion during a boss fight. The bad news is Puffer's not dealing much damage. The good news is he's pretty defensive right now. Really, if he gained one more level, he'd be able to do this pretty easily. Or if he spent his hard-earned gold on a better sword. Ooh, he's not doing too badly here. He's dealing quite a bit of damage. Ooh, this is actually looking really good for Puffer. He's making good progress. Ooh, he got bit, but not much. Oh, he's ahead of the boss. He does it! Puffer defeats the boss. That's a very well done fight there. And now Puffer will be able to open the chest in peace and gets the first of the 3 books. All right, so Withheld is really at the lead right now, I'd say. Withheld is got a good set of equipment, is exploring the mine, and knows that Lair has the second book. So at this point, Withheld just needs to go into the mine, needs to defeat the monsters, needs to find the treasure boxes, and we'll be able to complete the goal pretty efficiently. Yeah, so at this point, Puffer is done in this dungeon. He can leave. He's collected everything worth collecting here. Oh, is this a glitch in BizHawk? I was curious about that. It does seem to have a bad habit of losing the music until it plays a sound effect. Withheld picks up the timer ring. It's probably a little curious what this item does. The timer ring makes the monsters move more slowly. So you don't, it doesn't make, you have your choice between, you can have your attack ring for dealing more damage, your defense ring or your armor ring for more defense, or your timer ring makes the enemies slower so that you can be more technical. And then there's one more ring to find in this goal. The healing ring is hidden in the mines as well. The healing ring, when equipped, makes it so that the players can stand still and restore their hit points anywhere, not just outside, which makes it a huge safety because you can just stand around after taking damage and restore your hit points even in the depths of a dungeon. There we go, Withheld picking up the silver armor. So at this point, Withheld is in great shape. Only their sword could be improved in this goal now. So now they need to focus on going deeper into the dungeon, finding more floors. Here we go, Withheld finding the sort of hidden cave. This looks ominous. Withheld taking a quick save here and a new slot. That's good planning there. You want to use a lot of slots just in case you kind of get a dud save file somewhere. There we go. That's going to be on the way to the second. See Puffer King just marching his way back to town like a boss. These monsters don't stand a chance. He just plows right through them without even stopping. See, GFM is just running by these monsters without even finishing them off. This is really weak play, I think, from him. He really needs to be killing monsters for experience points. Although part of it may be he doesn't know what is an appropriate level. He may think he's over leveled at this point. It's hard to say. It'll be interesting to see what is going through GFM's mind. Alright, GFM makes his way down to the lowest level of the shrine, but there is a locked door, so he's going to have to go back up and look for the key. There are 2 keys he needs to get out of this. Yeah, Puffer King's low-level sword is really starting to catch up with him now. He's got quite a bit of defense here, but he's really struggling to deal damage to enemies. And the longer a fight with an enemy goes on, unfortunately, the more damage you're going to take. Yeah, Puffer is just barely nicking this monster. It's death by 10,000 paper cuts. Oops, someone has graduated to the 3rd save file. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to use that wing to teleport right on back to town. GFM finding the 2nd key here, the marble key. That'll be enough to get into the deepest part of the dungeon. Another game over here for GFM. GFM's only 40 experience points away from a level. Just needs to kill a few more monsters and pick up that extra level. Even if it was 40 of the weakest monsters in the first area. Alright, looks like GFM is gonna make his way elsewhere. Oh, there's another gold statue here. If he follows this path, he will find the silver shield. There we go, a silver shield for GFM. That's going to be a big boost to defense power. And GFM has already bought the second best sword. Seems like GFM's feeling a little bit gutsy now. He's a lot more willing to attack these monsters. But needs to be careful. He's still pretty fragile. Wisely saving the game. This is a good decision. It's only 12 experience points away from a level. Really just needs to kill something and pick up that last level. See, someone has picked up a lot of experience points here. Has gained quite a big chunk of experience on his way to the higher levels. Oh, here we go. Withheld has the Rhoda nut and talk to the tree. Withheld was told there's a sword at the foot of the tree's brother. So now Withheld is really curious where that is. Unfortunately, Withheld must not remember that there is a second big tree. If only she would wander a little bit further south, she could find it. Oh, did Withheld already get the sword? Alright, well in that case then, Withheld realizes that she solved the puzzle before she solved the puzzle. So with that, Withheld is rocking a full set of equipment. Silver equipment. That's as strong as you can get equipment-wise. So all that's left now is Withheld needs to find the remaining keys here in the dungeon. The only other really useful item she could find is the heal ring, which is a little bit tricky to find. Because if you're following, say, a left-hand or a right-hand rule, you'll never find it. You do need to sort of wander around in the middle of the caves in order to locate the chest with the healing ring. Seeing a lot of people equipping the Mask of Eyes. This is a really interesting thought. I wonder what's going through their minds, whether they think that the Mask of Eyes gives them some kind of a combat advantage, or perhaps they're just hypersensitive to there might be a hidden secret that they'll pass over if they don't equip it. Puffer chugging down that healing potion. Alright, looks like GFM managed to gain another level here, and looks like he's on his way out of the dungeon. I can see that. If you're playing a mazy game and you're concerned that there's going to be some kind of an esoteric secret laying around, you might be tempted to just leave that equipped all the time, just to be absolutely certain that you don't miss any treasure. Puffer King finding the Rototree Seed as well. That is the item that will allow him to get a silver sword, the most powerful sword available in this goal, but not the most powerful sword in the game. And of course, we'll kind of be talking about it differently because this is Ys 1 and 2 as a compilation game. Ys 2 really is its own standalone game. We'll find when we start up Ys 2 that all of our equipment will be lost, and that we'll effectively be starting over when we get to Ys 2. I wonder what sword Puffer is equipped with now. Puffer might still be equipped with the level 1 sword. I thought he might have picked up the level 2 sword. But he's pretty close to that 5,000 gold to buy the level 3 sword, the katana. Which will make fighting through these monsters a lot easier. Oops, someone found the Dharm key. That's a very good item. They will absolutely need that in next week's goal. So any players who manage to miss the Dharm key are going to have to go back and find that in next week's goal. They also need to find the silver harmonica. That's hidden in here somewhere. The silver harmonica will get them a big boost in experience points, and that will get them the second of the 3 books that they need to complete the goal. Puffer King is really low on health here. He needs to be cautious getting out of the dungeon. It's not too difficult to get out of here alive, especially if he takes his time to hit enemies off center. Yeah, he's saving every short distance here, this is a good way of getting out alive. Whoops, ran a monster into the wall and died. Alright, so GFM is full of full health, has all of his equipment. I think at this point he's ready to go to the deepest part of the mine, or to the deepest part of the shrine. Meanwhile, we see both Someone and Withheld have stumbled into the boss room of the final boss of this goal. Although if they don't have the silver harmonica, they will be behind one book. They will need to get the book from Lair the Poet. This boss is probably the worst boss maybe in this entire game. Certainly within Ys 1. This boss hits really hard. The boss moves around very randomly. And the vulnerability periods are extremely brief. Ooh, Puffer King here is found talking to the Rototree. Does he remember? Yeah, it looks like he remembers there's another big tree. Where is that tree, says Puffer. Come here, tree. And here this ominous tree says, destruction will once again plague the land of Ys. Violence will reign chaos. It is time for you to set out on your journey. GFM finds the silver bell. Whoops, did someone accidentally reset the game? I think someone may have accidentally hit run and select at the same time. Yeah, Dark Fact is not that tough, especially if you gain a buttload of levels. There we go, Withheld dealing some damage, but the damage being dealt and the damage being taken are pretty lopsided. Withheld really does need to gain some levels. Also, we see Puffer King going back in. Now Puffer King with his brand new sword, he is dealing massive damage to every enemy he encounters. Previously, Puffer was taking 30 hits to kill one of these red caterpillars. Now Puffer's killing them in 2 hits. Someone taking another death here. It looks like Withheld is taking a moment to grind some levels out. Ooh, we see Puffer King finding the precious heal ring. So while that heal ring is equipped, he can heal while in dungeons, just like on the overworld map. This is a massive survivability improvement on Puffer. This will make it very easy for Puffer to just continuously explore this dungeon without leaving. Yeah, there's a little bit of strategy, because when his bats go to merge together, they're going to merge where you're standing. And so if you're standing really far away from him, it increases the likelihood that those bats are not going to merge together before they decide to do another little fancy dance. So there is some strategy in getting close to the bats and luring them back together. Oh, interesting. Someone does not have the silver armor. Did not find the silver armor. I think the biggest issue with the boss is that his vulnerability period is very short and poorly telegraphed. I think if you made it so that there was a period of time between him being vulnerable and then him dealing damage to you, so that you had an opportunity to give him a whack and then run away without getting hit, the boss fight would be way better. Alright, GFM heading back into the shrine now. I think he turned in his little silver bell, and now he just needs to dive deep into the shrine and pick up the first book. So Puffer is equipping his healing ring, and this is going to make it very safe exploring this deep. He can take a lot of damage in a hurry if he is not careful. So he really does want to make sure that this doesn't lure him into a false sense of security and discourage him from saving periodically. Oh, he sees a treasure box. He wants that treasure box. Someone taking another death there. Might not be a bad idea for someone to grind just enough enemies to get up to the next level. Even if he's only getting 2 experience points per enemy, it'll only take 50 enemies to gain that level. What was that? There we go. Puffer King finds the Dharm key. It looks like GFM is ready to take a stab at the boss. We're going to see if GFM can take out the giant centipede. It's like someone is going to take a break here. Now, another thing is if someone heads back to town and turns in that silver harmonica, he will get like 300 experience or something like that for turning that in, and that will be another level as well. And as several people have pointed out, there is the silver armor here in the dungeon. If he can find the silver armor on the first floor, that will be a nice boost to his defensive power. Looks like someone is just going to grind out another level. Now, another thing players can do in this one is they can turn the speed down, and that will make this fight a little bit slower. All right, GFM has defeated the centipede. And is going to be making his way triumphantly out of the shrine into his next adventure. Someone was really close that time. Unfortunately, took a death right at the end before dealing the killing blow. Puffer King is really not equipped to fight this boss right now. He really does need to gain at least another 2 levels. Puffer wisely gaining that extra 5 experience points to get 1 more level. This boss fight is a million times better if you imagine that the little bats are dancing to the music. That they're doing their little bat jig. And we've got our first dot done here. Nighty has finished in first place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 25 seconds. Congratulations to Nighty for finishing first place. Not a surprise, though. Nighty is not a stranger to mystery races. Nor is he a stranger to action RPGs. He's joined several of our segmented blind races. So he brings a level of expertise to these races. So we see withheld here is grinding some of these enemies. How much are these enemies giving withheld? That one's only worth 2. Yeah, someone is a bit ahead of here on experience. Puffer King's not dealing enough damage. Puffer really does need to level up a bit. GFM heads back to talk to Sarah the Fortune Teller, and Sarah gives him 2 important pieces of information. One, that Lair the Poet has a very important item that he needs to find. And the second, that there is a book in the mine. And withheld, finding the heal ring. This is going to be a big item that will be a big advantage for exploring, since this means withheld can now recharge her health anywhere that she pleases, even in the depths of a dark mine. So this will make survivability way better. And GFM goes to talk to Lair the Poet, and Lair is like, bring me my harmonica, because I don't even care about the fate of the world if I can't play my harmonica. So Puffer is set with a full set of the best equipment in the game. At this point, he needs to gain some levels because he's taken way too much damage and he's dealing way too little damage. Someone just getting absolutely trolled by these bats that refuse to fuse together. They refuse. That is the opposite of fuse. Oh, GFM finding this treasure box, going to open it up, and he's going to be rewarded with the silver armor, an item he absolutely wants. Yeah, this game is... part of what might be throwing the players off is that this game isn't so obvious about it. We did... One of our previous segmented races we did was Terranigma for the Super Nintendo. And that is a game that has pretty hard caps on what levels you need to be to fight a boss. That game was a little more transparent with it, though, where... if your level was too low, you would deal, single-digit damage. And so it was very plain that you had to grind additional levels to progress further. Yeah, Puffer's damage is way too low. He's never going to be able to finish this. Someone's in a position where he could reasonably do it with a lucky run. But you got to get everything down. You got to get the timing down that you jump into the boss when he's vulnerable and jump back out before his vulnerability ends. Alright, looks like someone is going to take a moment to maybe grind a little experience. And I don't know if someone has turned in the silver harmonica yet, because the silver harmonica gets you a nice chunk of experience points as well. Yeah, that might be another good point. If levels feel too tiny, you don't feel incentivized to earn them. I know you feel that way a little bit like when I played some of the older Dragon Quest games, where those first few levels you gain are pretty big jumps because your stats are so low, so gaining one level feels like a big deal. But then later on, because they're just so piddly, you really don't even feel like those levels are worth gaining. Alright, so it looks like someone has committed to gonna kill a bunch of these monsters and gain some levels. Only needs to kill 50 of these monsters to gain a level. Now only 25 more monsters. There is some silver armor on the first floor. If someone was willing to go back to the first floor and explore a bit, would find that. Alright, Withheld's gained a level. Looks like Withheld's going to give the boss another shot here. I think Withheld is in the right spot for this now. Having gained a level, that's given her that little bit of boost of damage that makes this reasonable. But Puffer is not even close. I mean, it's a tiny little scratch on that boss. GFM let this little brown chicken McNugget corner him. But he got out alive. When you save your game and load your game, the save game doesn't remember where the monsters are located. It simply resets them. So it's possible to make a mistake and save right on top of an enemy so that you get hit as soon as you load. But that doesn't happen very often. Yeah, someone is dealing enough damage to fight the boss, but doesn't have enough defensive power. Because unfortunately someone did not find the silver armor. Alright, looks like Puffer is wisely going to take a break here and is going to fight some monsters. These night creatures look like they're dropping 7 experience, 8 experience. They're given a pretty big chunk of experience. Yeah, that's given 9 experience points for killing one of those little lobster critters. Puffer, you need experience. You want to kill them. I mean, they're dropping enough that he only needs to kill about 20 of them for a level. That's barely any. So at this point, Withheld just got to perform. There's no more mysteries. There's no more equipment. Withheld's just got to either kill this boss or kill 100 of the mooks here in the dungeon to gain a level. Alright, looks like someone has gained a level. And it's going to heal up. Yeah, I think at this point Puffer has everything that he could possibly have. He needs to kill enemies. Gaining levels is the only solution to his problem. Alright, Puffer King just exploring the mine a little bit more, killing some monsters, gaining some experience, so this is moving him in the right direction. Although the monsters in the shallow part of the dungeon now are only worth about 2 experience points. So they're not really quite worth his time to fight. He'd do better off fighting the monsters in the deepest part where the phoenixes are. GFM finding the Rhodonut. Puffer King making his way out. Wonder what Puffer's thinking right now. Is he going to go back to town and buy some stuff? Because this is sort of an awkward part of the game where you have a pile of money and there's really nothing to spend it on. I mean, Withheld's sitting on 20,000 gold pieces and nothing to buy. That may be it. Puffer may be thinking, I'm only getting 2 experience points. Obviously, that's not enough. Well, here we go. So Puffer's going to get to listen to a little song here. And he's going to get a giant chunk of experience points for that. And he's going to get the second of the 3 books he needs for the goal. So this has put Puffer in a really great spot here. He's pretty much set. He can defeat the boss now with this loadout. Puffer also never sold any of the treasures he found, and he never gave the silver bell back, which means he won't get the attack ring. Although that's not a big deal because once he finishes the second segment next week, all of this equipment will be redundant anyways. Alright, looks like someone's got a little bit better timing here in the boss, understanding the boss's vulnerability window a little bit better, but still taking a tremendous amount of damage every time they get hit. Alright, does Puffer King remember the path to get to the bottom of the dungeon? I think looks pretty good. Looks like he remembers the way to go. Nope. He has a vague idea in his mind of where to go, but not quite it. Ooh, this run is looking good. Someone is in good shape here. Oh, one more hit. One more hit for someone. Oh, come on, come on. Pray for some good RNG here. There it is, there it is. Oh, someone getting the clear. Someone defeating the boss that spawns the treasure chest. Gets a big old boost of experience points here. Immediately saves. Does not even take a step. And that is the 3rd book. Looks like that's all 3 books for someone. Someone has hit the dot done. So they are done with today's goal here. So congratulations to someone 325 for completing the first of 4 goals that we will have here. Let's go ahead and pick up our last racer in today's race. Mr. Pt.1. Oh, here we go. Found the armor ring. And someone says, what a boss. So I think Mr. Pt.1 is going back to town to pick up some better weaponry, which is a well-advised strategy. Sitting on 4,200 gold coins. That's enough to buy at least a level 2 sword. Fighting a little bit more could get you 3 gold. Could get you the level 3 sword. So GFM is going to invest in a magic wing, which will be useful for getting out of dungeons later. All right, so here is Puffer. Oh no! Did Puffer not save his game a single time? Oh, Puffer went all the way back to town, gained those levels, bought that equipment, and died in the mine. And unfortunately, because he did not save his game, he went all the way back to the boss room. That's why you gotta save your game, folks. There we go, and we see Withheld getting the kill on the boss. And picking up that volume Dabby. That is the 3rd volume. However, I think Withheld might not have gone back to talk to Lair the Poet. So to get the 3rd book, or to get the last book, Withheld is going to need to head back to town and talk to Lair the Poet. Especially since I don't think Withheld has the harmonica. Which means Withheld still needs to go back and explore inside of the mine. So the good news is nothing here is going to be a threat to Withheld. With all of these levels and equipment, every enemy now is going to be harmless. So Withheld can just explore with impunity while looking for this mysterious missing book. All right, so Puffer King making his way back to town yet again. We just did this, but he gets to do it again because, unfortunately, he didn't save his game. All right, so it looks like Pt.1 has purchased a new sword. And is going to make his way back down into the depths of the shrine and perhaps defeat the centipede this time. Puffer King goes back to talk to Lair the Poet. That's going to get him a big old chunk of experience points. And Volume Toba. Absolutely mandatory book. And this time he's going to save so he doesn't get to do this run again. Oh, here we go. GFM is going to find the heal ring here. And that sweet, sweet ring means that GFM can now heal his health anywhere he pleases. And absolutely save to make sure you don't lose that really valuable item. So unfortunately for Withheld, I don't think she found the silver harmonica in the mine, which means she is going to need to search around and figure out. Of course, it's anybody's question. It's anybody's guess why the silver harmonica is in the mine. Although I guess the lore here is that I think the lore here is that everything made of silver was stolen by Dark Fact and hidden, so maybe that is the explanation. I also haven't paid close attention. I'm not sure if we saw any of the players buy the sapphire ring from the shop. So this point Withheld is at a mystery. Knows that you need to have the Withheld knows that you need the silver harmonica, but doesn't know where it is. And the obvious place is maybe it's in the mine. Maybe I just didn't explore it thoroughly enough. Alright, Puffer is slowly making his way back to the boss room, where he will, hopefully, this will be his victorious battle, and he'll be able to finish up. Pt.1 doing very well on experience points, doing well on equipment, so I think this will be his opportunity to defeat the centipede and make some tangible progress as well. Alright, it's boss time. Look at that. Puffer King taking a big chunk out of that boss's health. Jumped the gun a little bit there. Unfortunately, took a big hit. Alright, Pt.1 is unfortunately going to forfeit from the race. They're feeling very ill and they don't want to push themselves. That is fine. Hopefully they'll have an opportunity to play this game later on their own and enjoy themselves without feeling pressured. We don't judge anybody negatively for forfeiting or for taking a long time. We're just eager for people to join us in races and enjoy fun games. Oop, Puffer a little bit too quick there, jumping into the boss too soon. Alright, so Withheld needs to dip back into the mine and explore. And I think as soon as she finds that silver harmonica in a treasure box, that will be the what triggers all of this and lets them finish. Ooh, a nice attack there from Puffer King. Carving a nice chunk out of the boss's health meter, but unfortunately took too much damage already. Oop, nice there. Puffer King carving a big chunk out. Oh, that was the tease there. It looked like it was going to become vulnerable, but it really didn't. And Puffer unfortunately fell for it. Oh, looks like Puffer is losing his internet for a moment there. Uh-oh, we've lost Puffer. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up some audio from GFN then. If there is any audio. There it is. So for those who might have joined us in the middle of the race, this is going to be a segmented race of Ys Book 1 and 2 for the TurboGrafx 16 CD. We will eventually play through the entirety of the game. We're going to play this through in little chunks. If we're going to finish up today as soon as all our players have collected the first 3 books of Ys, which is about a quarter of the way through the game. We will play part 2. We'll play the second segment next Sunday at about 2 p.m. EDT, Eastern Time. And so you're welcome to join us then and enjoy the majesty of these players playing through. This is Mystery Funhouse. We do blind races primarily on this channel, so the majority of the content you will see on this channel is players playing games they've never played before that they don't know much about. So we can often be surprised by what we discover our players doing. We have other events coming up on this channel as well. We've got our Heavy Troopa tournament is continuing on, in which players draw games from all of the games that exist, essentially. Games from the Giant Bomb database. And then they race in it, and then we see who does better at a game that they have chosen completely at random. We also have a new weekly event. Every Saturday we do the My Scory event, hosted by Internet Dirigible, in which players are given a random game. Well, not a random game. Each week a game is selected and players compete for the highest score over a period of a couple of hours. So you definitely want to join us again for that event when it happens next Saturday. I believe that's at 7 p.m. EDT. And then we have a number of other events that occur that will be on the calendar. So if you just keep an eye out on our Discord, you'll see the other kinds of tournaments and events we've got coming up. I believe we have coming up Co-op Tournament 2, in which players form teams and they work together to complete games that are two-player games. Did the Game Jam thing already happen? How did it go? Yes, that was, I want to say that was last Saturday, and I understand it went very well. It went on for most of the day. If you check our VODs, there should be VODs of that event available. And you can see all of the games played. So right now we have Puffer King is facing off against the final boss of this goal, and as soon as he defeats this boss, he will receive his third Book of Ys volume Dabby, and he will be able to done. Withheld has found volume Dabby, has defeated the final boss, however, is still looking for the silver harmonica. Unfortunately, the silver harmonica is in the mine. So once Withheld has finished exploring the shrine, hopefully she goes back to the mine and goes looking for the harmonica. As soon as she finds it, she will make a beeline for Lair the Poet and will get her final item that will lead her to victory. And GFM is making his way very slowly and cautiously towards the end here. And I think he will be in pretty good shape here as long as he is cautious. So he does want to restore his health. Yep, I think he's picked up on that. This is a very bossy looking room, he thinks. Alright, it's GFM's chance to fight this boss. If he can clear this boss faster than Puffer, he'll take the victory. Wanders into these little bats. Unfortunately, these little bats are invulnerable and they just eat up Puffer, or they eat up GFM's health in an instant. Puffer's been at this for a while. GFM is just making his first attempt, so absolutely reasonable for GFM to be a little bit confused, especially because this boss has very short and difficult vulnerability periods. Alright, so where will Withheld look next? Will Withheld head back to the mine? Because the mine is where she needs to go. And if our players get really, really desperate, they can go kill another 100 enemies. I believe that the enemies here at the end of the mine are still worth 2 experience points. They could kill 100 of them, gain 1 more level to squeeze out a few more precious EXP. Puffer King's dealt a lot of damage, but his own health is really low. Ooh, he could do it. He could do it. Oh no, he's just a little bit too quick. So the good news is Withheld can't get to any new areas that would throw her off. To get to the next segment of the game, the players do need to have all 3 of the first volumes. So there's no chance of Withheld wandering into Darm Tower and then becoming lost forever. Alright, Withheld heading back into the mine. The mine is where she needs to be. Unfortunately, the mine is very difficult to navigate because it's so dark. So it is really important for the players to very carefully explore this and make sure that they don't miss any of these side passages that contain treasure boxes. Withheld going for the old standard hug the right wall solution. There we go, GFM getting the kill. So I think GFM also just needs to head back to town and turn in the harmonica, and that will get him where he needs to be. Oh no, there it is. GFM has finished in 3rd place. GFM already turned in the harmonica. So with that, GFM is done. So congratulations to GFM for his excellent performance here.
Oh my gosh, I didn't get any damage.
Oh, we got audio here. Let's go ahead and grab Puffer then. There we go. Looks like Withheld found the silver harmonica, and it's going to finish up in just a moment. And there is the dot done from Withheld, 4th place with an SRL time of 2 hours, 37 minutes, and 8 seconds. So that just leaves Puffer King, and Puffer King is right here. He just needs to defeat the boss, and he's good to go. Puffer King getting a cascade of little error sounds there. Yeah, that'll help out later on, because that means Withheld will be able to forge ahead in next week's goal. So once again, this is the first of what will probably be 4 segments in the in this race. We will play part 2 next Sunday at the same time. Well, about the same time. It'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. EDT. We will play the second part of Ys Book 1 and 2 for the TurboGrafx CD, which will be the end of Ys Book 1, and we will start on Ys Book 2 the week after. Will there be another race after this today? I do not believe so, unfortunately. I think this is all we've got on the calendar for today. Puffer, are you okay there, buddy? Puffer? Are you gonna make it, buddy? I'm not sure what's going on here with Puffer. We do know at least one other player reported they managed to soft lock their game. There it is. Yeah, unfortunately there hasn't been a whole lot going on this channel recently. I think not many of the giant Trupa tournaments. We've really been looking for a lot more people who want to do restreams here on this channel. So if you are interested in being a restreamer for the Mystery Funhouse channel and restreaming a bunch of games that nobody knows anything about, you're welcome to throw your hat in the ring. If you'll just join our Discord and maybe send a message to Blasphemous Roar. He would love to have more people who are available throughout the day to just restream various blind race matches. If you are interested in racing any games, you are also welcome to do so. We have our regular events that we do all the time. We have our weekly segmented blinds. We have the My Scory event, which has begun, which is every Saturday at 7 p.m. EDT, which I believe that would be about 4 p.m. Eastern. That's a high score match. And then we do have a lot of players who they do blind races for fun. The other time, earlier this week, I believe it was on Saturday, our players did a sort of a blind race match of a homebrew NES game. What was it? Gull Bros or something like that? Miss Scory. Okay, I see. I get it. Miss Scory. Space Skulls, that's it. Yeah, we did. We had some players do a race of Space Skulls, but that was not restreamed. So if you're interested in joining some races, folks will be willing to race just about anything. If you have some games in your backlog that you've been looking to get out, just jump into chat. Somebody will be willing to race against you in anything whatsoever. So, yeah, while we're waiting for Puffer King to figure out what's going on here, it looks like he's having a little bit of trouble here towards the end. Maybe his game is starting to overheat. He needs to blow off his computer. We have the Heavy Troopa tournament continues to go on. If you watch the Discord, even if those matches don't get restreamed, if you see a match is starting, you're welcome to watch that, and you can always do a multi-Twitch to watch those races. And we have a wide variety of games that show up in the Heavy Troopa tournament. As Roar said, we have Mystery. The Mystery event is every Saturday at 7 p.m. That is a high score competition where a game is selected and all the players who join, and we'll have over a dozen players, I think, joined the first event, trying to get the highest score possible in a game that they've never heard of before. The first game that they did was Tower Infinity or something of that nature, High Tower, which was a puzzle game in which the players had to roll blocks around to match colors to build a big 3D tower. And we'll be back again next week with that, with a brand new game. Ooh, that was a really good run there from Puffer King. Unfortunately, he took a death right at the end before he could handle it. Hello, Roar?
Hey, you seem a little bit tired and alone there. If I knew more about East, I would have joined you for co-commentary, but I know nothing about this.
Well, that's perfectly fine. Are you going to jump in here and tell us a little bit about some of the upcoming events here on the Mystery Funhouse channel?
Well, I think that you've done an amazing job of telling what's going on. We're actually not that much, or you've said basically everything that's going on, but when you're saying that, I realize this is a proper opportunity. So we've been lax on the weekly blinds lately. My computer's been on the fritz. There's been some issues, and also working with the game jam. So we've been a little bit back, or we haven't done that in a while. So I think that we should probably bring back the weekly blinds, don't you?
I think that would be a great idea. The weekly blinds, I think, are one of the... That's something that predated the Mystery Funhouse channel. Before Mystery Funhouse was a thing, we would get together for weekly blinds while waiting for the mystery tournaments to pop up. So that's probably the oldest tradition in the blind racing Discord of all.
Well, I was wondering if you would be interested in maybe doing the wheel. All you got to do is I can share the screen, or I can share the window for you over Discord if you want to.
I still got the wheel.
You have the wheel yourself? Oh,
yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. You should roll the wheel.
All right, we'll do that as soon as we see the victory here from our good friend Puffer. But let me go ahead and find that. I have that here.
Heck yeah. Unfortunately, my Sundays are often like my D&D or Kuso Grand GMing days, so I don't have the ability to participate in these races, but I tune in every once in a while. It's a good time.
All right, here we go. So we'll just, as soon as we find out, as soon as we see Puffer get his victory against this boss, and he's coming real close, we'll go ahead and we'll run the wheel and we'll find out. Sounds like we're going to be doing a blind the next week. Will be the blind?
Yep. Well, we'll go ahead and do the next weekly blind on Saturday next week.
All right, that sounds good.
We'll get back to the normal time slot.
Yeah, so that'll be good. So Saturdays will be a good week for us. We'll be, I think that's at 2 p.m. for the weekly blinds, and then Mystery will be at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be a nice schedule.
So the Mystery event is currently taking the spot of the Mystery Show. The Mystery Show is not canceled. But it turns out that making a new show with all sorts of weirdness going on every week is it's kind of hard.
It's a lot of effort. That's one of the reasons why I've always been fond of the weekly blind, especially once we got this mystery wheel and everything set up. Because it used to be every week BTS, Blade Twin Swords, would come up with something for us to race. And a lot of times there was no rhyme or reason to it. We'd pick something and we'd try to race it, and we wound up hitting a lot of stuff that was just either unraceable or really, really short. I mean, we had some weeks where we'd pick a game and we'd finish it in literally 5 minutes. And it's like, okay, well, we need something more substantial. So since we've got this mystery wheel where people recommend games and we can draw them each week, that's made it easy. And there it is. There's Puffer getting the kill on this nasty boss here. He's going to get his full health refill. He's going to get a nice pot of experience. He's going to open this box. He's going to find that book, and he's going to be able to done immediately. I think he turned in his harmonica already.
Not bad. 247 for everybody for the first part.
And there it is. There is the done from Pufferfish with an SRL time of 2 hours, 48 minutes, and 2 seconds. Congratulations to Puffer for his victory. You saved your game, buddy. Yeah, he's a little disappointed that there's just nothing in this door, and that's just it. There's nothing in this door. All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and let's pull up the mystery wheel. It's been a while since I've run this. I haven't even looked at the blind list, so I have no idea what we've got on there.
I don't either. I think we're starting to run a little low.
So for folks who aren't familiar, this is a mystery wheel that we've got that draws games from a spreadsheet that we've got on the Mystery Funhouse Discord.
Yeah, so basically we allow anybody to jump on, and anybody who's part of the Discord, if they're interested in getting a race together and the like, they can put a game on that list. And if you're interested in doing the blind race, you can add your interest to it. And the wheel actually does weight the games that it's pulling for based on interest. So it's mostly random, but also I believe Giles said that the higher interest level causes the thing to have a higher initial speed.
All right, here we go. We're going to see what games we get this week. So our choices are Marble Magic, Dr. Lunatic Supreme with Cheese, Tenchu Stealth Assassin. We've got Blender Brothers and Hopkinson and Hopkinson. I don't even know what that is. I apologize if this is a little loud, folks. I didn't adjust the volume on this.
I can check.
All right, looks like Dr. Lunatic Supreme with Cheese is pulling off ahead. Blender Brothers is getting a big boost of speed here, though. Ooh, it's Supreme? Is it Blender Brothers? Looks like next week it's going to be Dr. Lunatic Supreme with Cheese, a PC game. Genre is Cool Cat Bad. We got 3 people interested in it. So submitted by Jal.
So this is actually we've had a game here on Mystery Funhouse before. Buafa Spooky Castle was a prototype version of Dr. Lunatic Supreme with Cheese. So we're going to see all sorts of wonderful zombie killing, brain, power pants, hammers, and Cool Cat Bad action up in here.
Yeah, this one is probably going to be a bit chaotic because it has no exaggeration. It has over 1,000 levels to play compared to maybe 15 levels in the Spooky Castle. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of a goal that we come up with that, since we are going to need to give the players some guidance. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we just say play whatever, and we're going to see 4 different players run around and play a completely different set of levels each, and see where that goes.
Oh, well, I'm able to test again, so we're able to get that rolling once more.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here. As we said before, unfortunately, this is the end of the broadcast today, but we are not necessarily done. Let's go ahead and I'm thinking we might check out Alpha here. Alpha is playing a game called Omori. I don't know much about Omori. Yeah, let's go ahead and raid Alpha playing some Omori Blind. I don't know anything about that. I believe it's sort of an RPG. So we'll all get to find out together what this mystery RPG is that Alpha is playing called Omori. So once again, thank you everybody for joining us today. We will be back again next week at 2 p.m. EDT on Saturday. We're going to have our next weekly blind, which is going to be Dr. Lunatic Supreme with Cheese, a crazy action game collecting items and fighting monsters with over 1,000 levels. At 7 p.m. EDT on Saturday, we will have Mystery Round 2, in which we'll see a bunch of players go for a high score on a game chosen for your viewing pleasure. And then again next Sunday at 2 o'clock p.m. EDT, we are going to play race number 2. We're going to watch our players finish up East Book 1. Thank you for joining me here at the end, Roar.
Hey, thanks for putting on these races.
And we'll see you folks again here on the Mystery Funhouse channel. We hope you have a good evening, and we'll catch you again next time when we play another mysterious game. Have a good night.